Live access application. What on earth?
Oh, no. Hang on. Yeah, Olivia went live before. Log in to apply. What?
That seems... because it seems like it's live on PC or console, right? Live studio rather than through your phone.
Yeah.
Did she go through her phone?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I was not there when
We just do this for cricket, yeah.
But
we didn't
cricket
have to log in.
1,000.
But that's just...
followers.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Oh, rickety day.
Let Marcus know he doesn't have to talk
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Oh, Alex just said he can hear us in the background on Twitter. G'day, footy's back. That's right. I'm Paul Vander. No, I'm not. I'm not a, what was he? A builder, I think, on the side. Maybe a chippy electrician. Oh, I'm just playing in the background. That's good. This is the AFL Today Show. We are, amazingly enough, live. Look at this. That's Leo over there. What's going on, Leo?
Not too much, Jim. Just happy we're live. That means all of our stuff up so we can't go back and redo them.
No, geez, we're in a bit of trouble.
I mean, usually we just go back and just retape absolutely everything all the time and definitely just don't tape live and then just throw it up hoping for the best. I think that's actually what we might do. In between Leo and I is the stats guy. What's going on, Liam McAllion?
Nah, very excited to be live. As Leo said, we won't have any stuff up, so we'll be pretty good. I think you already got your singing voice on, so we absolutely love that. We're going to have some Harley Reid tunes, I reckon, later as well.
Well, I think we'll have some Harley Reid tunes during the game live stream that we'll be doing after this show, because this show is live streamed as well as being the podcast that you'll hear for your Thursday night team show. That's what we do here at AFL Today. So make sure that you're subscribed across YouTube. Follow AFL Today across all the socials and all that good sort of stuff. Of course, make sure you're around it on your podcast. Shall we do some news before we do teams? I think we should.
Why not?
I'll tell you what. Jamara Ugelhagen took himself off the board a little bit. Or is that still nicely timed for Tassie? Question mark.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? So he's re-signed for 2 more years, extended with the Bulldogs. How do we feel about this, Leo?
I feel that he's made a grave mistake and he should come to Hawthorn.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that was the rumour originally, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I think Hawthorn and a few other clubs were interested, but 2 years seems unders for Jamara.
Well, how many did Norton get?
He got
7,
like $1 million.
Yeah. It felt like 7 or something like that, I'm pretty sure. I think they've done that the wrong way around. You'd rather Jamara on that big contract and some of your other guys on the lower ones.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by that. It does feel like they've gone about the wrong way, which feels like the Bulldogs in general. They're like, hey, what is the weirdest way we can do everything? We'll get Norton locked away for 8 years, but we'll only get Jamara for another 2. We're going to see how that works out. Norton is like a very giant question mark wrapped in a headband, wrapped in a bunch of hair, whereas Jamara at least has this incredible raw talent where you're just like, you put this together, you're like the best forward in the comp.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's weird. What are you doing, Western Bulldogs? Sort your stuff out.
Got some comments as well. Oh, we can get into some of them though.
Since when is Leo a Pies fan? Well,
is that the it does look pretty Pies like his
team.
t-shirt actually.
Maybe he's just a big Newcastle fan.
Yeah.
Maybe like that. Bit of Football Today podcast for you. Someone should host that, I reckon. Just saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on.
I think he should be stats guy.
Yeah, well, I've hosted the last 3. Yeah.
Other news, Will Hayward. Not Will Power just yet. Will Hayward. What's that?
Speaking of long contracts.
Yeah, Carlton has offered him 6 years, Jim. I don't know, your beloved Carlton.
I love it.
I don't know about that.
It's the exact dude we sort of need.
Too much.
We need a bit of a guy who can sneak forward and actually kick some goals from the midfield. Because if you look at the entire Carlton array of midfielders,
he's not a midfielder.
None of them do it.
He's like, a half forward.
He's a half forward flanker, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the
he's not a
fifth on bowler,
midfielder.
maybe.
It's the same.
maybe.
No, he's not.
Yeah, not really. He's going to stay forward. But that seems too much for a guy. He is pretty consistent, but he's not like a superstar that you need to sign for 6 years, I don't think, yeah.
I don't know. He gets a bit of the ball. He does a little bit of
He's
everything,
okay,
causes a bit of havoc. I'm here for it.
Right.
Also, it's not my money, and I don't really care. Like, he's good, so let's go. And then speaking of Will Powell.
Oh.
Just out there dropping homophobic slurs. What are you doing, you idiot? Didn't you learn? That was the actual thing that we learned.
Yes.
That you should have learned after the Jeremy Finlayson boneheaded stuff.
Yes.
Guess what? Everybody in the AFL was on notice. That's what they then came out and said. It's like, yeah, you're getting a 5-match ban because you're dumb enough to come out and say this after we already rubbed out Jeremy Finlayson, who was dumb enough to say it in the first place. Yeah. What are you doing, you idiot? Will Powell, wake up to yourself. And here we are, 5 weeks later, can't play in the VFL.
No.
So, yep, it's an absolute blanket ban. Like it. What I don't like is I had to apologise to everybody upstairs. It's like, I feel like you should be apologising to not just everyone upstairs, like everybody.
Yeah.
For being a moron.
Yeah, it was a bit of a moron. He at least won't go on a podcast, hopefully, like Jeremy Finlayson, and just pretend like nothing happened. And
well, he's not going to go with Sam Draper on a podcast.
No. Yeah, same because I got what is it, 4 weeks?
4 weeks and Will Power's got 5.
Yeah.
Work that one out.
Yeah, what is going on there?
Just as long as Will Power didn't start talking about like the other players, like contract
Did he say
situations or
Bevo?
something.
That's another 12 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
He said the word Bevo. He's dead. Get him.
We'd all be dead.
Yeah, to be honest, the dumb tax. Look, it should be the opposite of it should be on par with the good bloke rule.
The opposite.
It's like you're a moron.
Yep, I agree.
You should get rubbed out for longer until you learn. You dumb idiot.
I actually like how the AFL stood to their word when they said, if this happens again, we're going to give more weeks. Evans again. That's good.
Every
it probably
time.
should happen with other things in
Sling
AFL.
tackles as well.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Should we get in? Is there any other news? Is that it? Are you serious?
I think so, because we talked about a lot of news the last couple of days. So
we did.
Yeah.
Yesterday's show with the gentleman from Marmalade, Shrey and Checkers, it was very, very fun. We did cover a lot of ground in that, actually. We had a lot of nahs. We had all the news. We did the top 5 cult heroes that we talked out. I basically just went ham on a bunch of Carlton cult heroes and talked about piercings.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, certain pieces.
you dunderheads over in the corner just giggling away when I was talking about that.
That was pretty funny.
I know what Jim's talking about. It was weird. Stop it. All right. Carlton, Melbourne tonight. We have the Demons hosting the Blues. This is as we're live right now. We actually have 50 minutes until the bounce. What was it 7:30? We're actually
7:30.
So about an hour. So look, my pick yesterday was Melbourne. We now actually we did that yesterday before teams came out. And we sort of both Alex and I, when we did this show yesterday with Marmalade, we kind of couched it with a bit of, all right, what are the actual teams going to be? And the ins for Carlton are pretty massive because we've got Jack Martin, Mitch McGovern.
Very handy, yeah.
Ollie Hollands and Brodie Kemp. I was screaming about Brodie Kemp yesterday. Stoked. Happy that he's back in. It's weird, though, that they dropped Lewis Young.
Is it?
It's kind of
he's not amazing.
He's not very good.
He's not, but at the same time,
he's tall, yeah.
They sort of fulfill a very sort of similar-ish position in their back line. It didn't ever feel like one in, one out, though, for me. But here we are.
Fair enough.
Jack Martin, though, that's huge for the forward line, especially against this Demons back line where you've got Lever and May and co. Trying their absolute hardest to stymie both McAllion and
your smalls to go
It's
well
all right, Jack Martin, pop up, kick a couple of goals, please.
Definitely.
So I'm actually now going to change my pick to Carlton by 5. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. You gotta stick with your Blues.
Oh, yeah, we'll be live streaming that show as well
right
after this.
Get around it.
Stats boy, who are you picking in that one?
I've got Melbourne by 10. You already mentioned them, but simply because you've got Lever and May, the 2 best defenders pretty much on the same team, I think. They're unbelievable. They've just been shut. They shut down Tomahawk and Jezza last week. I know Tomahawk's been very average, but to shut down
I feel like
Jezza
shut himself down for
he
a
did
lot
a
of that.
bit. The first half, he couldn't get near it. Second half, he forgot how to kick a footy, which was very, very weird.
Maybe he squashed the ends too much.
Maybe
Turned it
he
into a
did.
soccer ball.
Yeah. The thing he does, he says, the footies are too pointy. I don't think he's strong enough to squash a ball, but anyway.
Have you seen
he's an
those
interesting man.
pythons?
He's pretty
They're
big.
huge.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going Melbourne by 10. Think they're in better form just because Blues have lost last 2, is that right? And then 3 of the last 4. So I'm going to go Melbourne by 10 at the G. You're going to get the win.
Leo?
D's by 10 as well.
Oh, you got copying me.
Just
Stop copying each other's work. It's horrible. But we did do a bit of a breakdown of that game yesterday, especially with the over-under, which is always a weird one because I think all 5 of these, the last 5 matchups between these 2 teams have gone under this line, which is 164.5.
Very defensive.
It's a weird night here in Melbourne. It's weird outside. It's all gross and dewy and sort of strange and weird. Weird stuff. It'll be slippery on the MCG, I'll tell you. I expect that under to hit. But at the same time, today I'm not going great with the unders or overs. NBA, my pick for Pacers Knicks was under, and it went over by about 70.
It's over because you got a roof. We don't have a roof at the G, so it was going to go under.
You know what we should need?
Open
the roof.
Yeah, it is.
Open the roof at the G. They listened to me finally. All right.
No one should see me sitting undercover. Is that what you're saying?
I actually was on level 2 for the first time a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, this is what it actually sort of feels like to be undercover at the G.
Oh.
Because I'm usually with all the paws. Because I'm the paws.
I've sat with level 2 with you before. You definitely have been.
Oh, no, I have sat
I was going to say, I was like, where's this going?
We were on level 2.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stats Boy. Anyway, that was good. Friday, let's do it. We're going down the M1 to Geelong as they take on the Port Adelaide Power. They've got the power to win. The power to get 5.1 million for a new scoreboard, and they are the Cats of Geelong. Just mixing up my songs. This is good. 7:10 on Friday night, GMHBA. Why is this weird? It's because there's another game on Friday night as well.
Boo.
That is very
weird.
weird.
What the hell? You guys talked about it yesterday. That is a bit of a joke. Well, no, not a bit of a joke. It is a joke.
Cats are 4-goal favourites, 23.5 points. Panboy reckons that they're going to kill the fraud Power. I completely agree.
Fraud, exactly.
The
Exactly
fraud
your
Power.
words, Jim. Exactly.
They are my words. I love this because the Power, look, God bless them. I'm all about the Power. I think they're fun, but they are absolutely obliterated with...
What was that?
Obliterated.
Obliterated, yeah.
Use your words, Leo. Jeez. It's like you don't have small children that you just basically create words to annoy them with.
Stats guys,
which is
my
what I
small
do.
children.
Yeah. What?
All right. In for the Cats, Mark O'Connor, Brandon Parfitt, and what's it, Oishan Mullen?
Ashin
Mullen. Zach Tui's out managed. Jack Bowes is out. Bowes. Managed. And Tanner Broon is
You
injured.
don't like saying names tonight.
I'm really struggling.
Should we put Stats guy on listing the teams?
Yeah,
He's got it.
I've got it. Yeah.
No,
Fuzzy Mullet, I'm guessing in the comments is a Port fan. He says we're winning. No way to Panboy. I don't know about that.
Alira does come back for the Power. You got
Yes.
Vicentini, Evans, and Finlayson coming back as well. Out go Lockie Jones, Dylan Williams, Jace Burgoyne, which is a bit of a tough one. He actually popped
He's
up
been
here
alright,
in time.
yeah.
Injured.
Time
Injured,
and time again, right? Doing pretty well.
Sweet illness.
Jordan Sweet, that is a tough one.
Who's starting in the ruck? That's what we need to look at.
Vicentini.
Oh,
But the biggest one is obviously C. Rosie, the most handsome man in the AFL.
one of the best.
Out because he pinged a hammy. Oh, he didn't ping it. It's fine. Oh, he punged it. Definitely punged it. So at least a week, right? That was the vibe.
1 to 2, I think.
1 to
said,
2.
yeah.
That is brutal. So in the ruck at the moment, they got Vicentini, right? And
How many games have he played?
I believe
Not a lot.
I swear it's only a couple, yeah.
Yeah.
the only way they sort of get this fired up is the big JHF game, big Hornet game.
Put him in the ruck.
Grabs you by the scruff of the neck. I love when you take a game by the scruff of the neck. I feel like it's a lot harder to do in modern footy than it used to be. But I think the Cats win this with, I don't know, the wind under their sails of a few more million taxpayer dollars for a bodgy scoreboard. Sure. They'll be feeling pretty good. But I do feel like this is it's a really good spot, obviously, for Jezza Cameron to get back and just go wha-bang. If Port win, you guys got to give me a shout-out bet. Sure. Let's go.
Fuzzy
doing it
Mullet.
right
Yeah,
now.
we already gave you a Fuzzy Mullet.
On your Fuzzy Mullet.
What a name. That's a great name.
But they have won the last 9 straight at GMHBA against Port. Is that right, Stats Boy?
Yes. So, yeah, last night meetings, Geelong, I pretty much smashed them in most of them as well. The last one was only 12 points, but before that, there was a few 40 points, a few 30 points and things like that. Graham Myers killed that matchup last time as well. So
Messi.
Yeah, the Messi.
Encara Messi.
Yeah, Messi killed in that one.
Who's Ronaldo? That's what I want to know.
Jezza.
Gary Ablett Jr.
Who tans themselves
Dance.
like Cristiano Ronaldo? I don't know. Yeah.
Good chat.
This sounds like a short.
Yeah, it could be a short.
Graham Myers is having an awesome season, though. I enjoyed that.
Yes.
He's been
Horses
fantastic. So, look, the big question is, who will play in the ruck? Can Hawkins actually kick a goal? Will Jezza bounce back? That's 3 big questions for this one.
Yes.
It sort of feels like when you play Geelong, the ruckmen don't, like, as long as you've got someone who can keep up with, like,
Yeah, Stanley's
their
not
dudes, right?
amazing,
Between
yeah.
Stanley and Blixabs and stuff, like, that you should be okay. Like, Carlton rolled out Pitto and De Koning, and it didn't make any difference, seemingly. Like, they won a bunch of clearances and lost the game. So,
Yep.
great job, everybody at Carlton. I'm taking Geelong by 36. Ollie's probably a rock. Interesting. Dangerous Ronaldo. That's actually not a bad one.
Yeah. He's a bit up
I
himself,
like
so
that.
like Ronaldo.
Up himself. He's the miracle of Moggs Creek.
So we're saying Geelong have Messi and Ronaldo. We're just saying that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait
They're
on.
PSG now. I'm going to take Geelong by 6 goals. I think there's just a little bit too much in the way of injuries and new dudes in for power.
Yeah.
they get steamrolled. They've just not been playing very well. They got killed by Adelaide last week. Even though it was a showdown, this is down at the Cattery. That's a really tough backup. So, Leo.
Cats by 13. I just think it'll be a little closer, but I don't think it'll be a game where you go Port will win this. I think Cats will just keep them at arm's length.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Stats, boy.
Geelong by 29. I'm tempted to put that a little bit higher towards your 36. I think they'll do this pretty comfortably, beat the line. Port don't know how to kick straight at the moment, and Geelong, they probably played their worst game of the season, only lost by a goal last week. First loss, so they're flying. They're going to smash them.
Nice one. All right. I think was there an over-under for that? 174.5 as well. That's it's tough just to get a handle on over-unders when power are involved because we've seen them go pretty well, but then also just be horrible in front of goal and not actually score like last week.
If they kick straight, they should go well over.
Hawkins is the entire Man U team just crapping the bed.
Yes, this
not
is
bad.
Great EPL times AFL content here.
Which team's Aston Villa?
Yeah, it was just about
Aston Villa, who's like a rising team in the AFL.
Carlton.
Hawthorn.
Yeah, Carlton actually probably is.
The other game on Friday night, because we have two for some unknown reason. Oh, it's for Mother's Day. Take your mum to the footy.
Yes.
It's the best Mother's Day gift you could give and you could receive if you're a mum. Now, I have a couple of mums in my life, like my mum, and also old mate. She's like a mum to my two squids.
Like a mum?
Neither.
Sorry, I'm not helping his cause.
I'm saying like. It's all right. She's like, a mum.
Yeah.
She might not appreciate the Mother's Day footy trip, but my mum would. So
Same
there you
as
go. We're going 1 out of 2 at this point. Just take them to the footy. Don't know why we then have to get saddled with 2 Friday night footy games, but we're going out west, Optus Stadium. Freo hosting Sydney, which is a weird one because Sydney haven't really clearly... Look, what are they? 7-1, 8-1?
They're going very well.
They're crushing it.
Yeah,
but the weird game that they lost was to Richmond at the MCG.
Yep.
And you're like, outside the confines of the SCG, which the confines are roughly, how different are they to the MCG? I want to know.
Hugely different.
Yeah,
No,
I don't want to
not
talk
really.
about that.
But down there, out west, there you go, not down west, out west. The over-under is 156.5, and Sydney are only 6.5 point favourites. So it does very much feel like people have already taken into account the simple idea that travelling all the way out west is pretty tough. And also Sydney, depending on how they're travelling, literally, could go either way. So this is a weird one for me. Stats boy, got some stats for us.
Yeah, Sydney have won their last 2 meetings against Freo at Optus Stadium, so they'll have a bit of confidence there. And then Freo's last 4 night matches at Optus have actually gone over the total points. They don't have a very good offense, but I think because this line is always so low, most of their games are under 160. And they continue to stay around there. So I think it's going to go over as well.
Yeah,
I think that's too low. Sydney always get around 100 points. And then you've got Freo, who are surprisingly got Tracy down there who's kicking a couple of goals. You've got Amos. You've got a few others.
Played the Dogs down there 2 weeks ago and they would have hit the overs as well. That was high scoring.
Yeah.
It's a good call. The ins and outs, Witowski and Voss in for Freo rather.
Yep.
Out goes Sean Darcy, question mark.
Luke Jackson.
Good for SuperCoach.
Geez, you better hope you kept Luke Jackson in your SuperCoach team.
I saw how toxic some SuperCoach people are. There was a lot of laugh reacts from on a SuperCoach post about his injury, Sean Darcy. I was like, that's not very nice.
Not very nice at all.
But anyway.
In for the Swans comes Aaron Francis. Out goes Tom McCartan. That's a head injury, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes. So the McCartan boys again. Not good.
Just
not
sucks.
Good. Yeah.
Freo, look, it's hard to pick this one just because Sydney are the class team of the AFL at the moment. We all understand that. Travelling out west is a little bit tough. I'm still going to go Sydney by 4 goals. Sydney by 24, I think. I also love the fact that I think Pamboy is saying that he's taking his mother to the local footy on Sunday because mum loves footy.
Well
I keep telling you, mums love footy.
Are you Pam boy?
Yes, I'm also sitting here commenting. I can barely talk at the same time while I'm doing this.
He can hardly talk.
Let alone also then type stuff out. I'm going to go, Sydney by 4 goals. I think just offensively between McDonald, Amati, Papley, they've got probably just a little bit too much. And they didn't even take Luke Parker with them, right? They're like, Luke Parker, just get your giant weird head, noggin with all the stitches still stuck in it. Just get yourself right. You'll be fine. Because what did he do? Broke his arm, a hand or something during preseason?
Yes.
That was the Parker injury, wasn't it?
I can't remember, to be honest.
Anyway, they were just like, just have another week in the VFL, mate. You'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. I think this is a big Errol Goulden game. I think they sort of just eke out a handy 4-goal win. Stats boy?
I'm going to go Sydney by 12. I said probably the last 2 weeks, Freo frauds. They're just getting over the line, but they've actually been really good. they've shown depth all across
So
the
you
board.
were wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah, I can admit that. Yeah.
There we go.
Hey,
So
it
I'm
takes
going-
a real man
it
to
does.
admit when they're wrong.
It does.
Until
So,
Stats Guy says it.
yeah.
I'm always wrong, and I'm always happy to admit it. So.
So Sydney by 12. I think this is going to be really close, just because it's at Optus Stadium. But Sydney just too classy, and we'll get the job done.
How many people do they get there for this game?
I reckon they'll get quite
Yeah?
a few. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Freo have a
fascinating.
big,
Freo got a
supporter
big
base.
following. I
Not
like
not
it.
over
I reckon
interstate, but at Optus Stadium they
40.
fill it. Yeah.
It'd be fascinating for a Friday night game though against Sydney.
Sydney
Should
travel
be kinda
pretty well
cool.
as well. Yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
think it'll be a good crowd.
Weird kit matchup though. The purple and the red and whites and the what do they do? How do Freo go about that? Do they wear the home whites? What do you reckon?
Don't know.
I think they just play footy.
Whoa, who is Pambo? They follow all of our content because he said Stats Guy loves being wrong.
Oh, see you, Fuzzy
Wish you
Mullet
had
logo.
Harley.
All right, Leo, what's your pick?
Swans by 28. I think Freo have been great from clearances this year, but I think Sydney will beat them on the outside.
Yep.
Very nice.
Good call.
Saturday, we're going to Tassie. James Sicily isn't. Boy.
Yeah, actually, a little conspiracy there.
Did
he
you wrote that
deliberately-
in there? That's the big
Oh,
question.
I haven't read
That
it.
is a big question. The big question for
We
that
can
one.
get right into it if you want.
I might as well. Saints are 9.5-point favourites down there at UTAS. Which one's that? Is that in Hobart or Launceston?
Launceston.
They're always in Launceston. Hawks.
Because North are in Hobart.
Yes. Not for
I knew
much
that.
longer though with the Tassie teams.
Tough Saints. 1:35 on Saturday afternoon. Tough one. Always a rough early game on that Saturday down there.
Hawthorn are used to it.
yeah.
Over under 160 basically. And the big question here is Sicily sitting out just because this is in Tassie.
I think he deliberately dislocated his shoulder, as well as injured his ankle, as well as a head knock. And he just said, I'm going to absolutely dominate the Dogs.
Yeah.
And he did. And then now he's just like, oh, wait, we've got Tassie next week?
They were doing some tackling drills. Big Lloyd Meek, he's like, run at me. And he just put his shoulder in the way and Lloyd
Punch
Meek's
him
just
along.
gone bang.
Punch him along. Punch him along. I don't want to go to Tassie ever again.
What was his
I hate
comments
it.
last? Was it?
I believe the comments that James Sicily had were, I hate Tassie heaps.
yeah.
Is he wrong?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tassie's lovely.
Well,
I
you shouldn't
literally-
say that if you're the captain of a team that
Yeah, I
plays
know,
there.
I know,
That was
but-
pretty bad.
Literally on today's episode of NBA Australia, we were talking with Derek Rucker about how nice Tassie is.
I like it.
It's
Like,
not.
Tassie's
It's
been there.
rules. Like,
Hobart's awesome, yeah.
Prove us wrong, Tassie. Prove us wrong.
They got a team. That'll be fun.
All right, stats guy.
Saints, they've won 6 of the last 7 against the Hawks. So really, really good record. Obviously, the Hawks haven't been pretty good in that
the one
time.
loss was last year, though, where
Yes.
Hawks 6-5 in a row in the last quarter.
Yes, I was going to say that. And then Hawks have covered the line in their last 4 games at UTAS, at University of
I think that's because we
Minnesota.
play like North there.
You played North.
that's
Well, you
really
beat the
why.
Bulldogs there.
We lost to beat the Bulldogs there, lost to Adelaide by a freak Darcy Fogarty kick. After,
Yes,
like,
that's right.
with a
So
minute
that's my
left.
point. You still played really well.
But
against
the other two would have been North, I would say.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And you beat us both times there.
The ins and outs for this one, we've got Lukey Bruce, Seamus Mitchell and Jai Sarong back for Hawthorn. Sicily's obviously out, Ward's out, and Harry Morrison's out for the Hawks too. For the Saints, income Liam Henry and Ben Patton.
Liam
Mateus
Henry's a big
Philippou.
one. Yeah, that's a big
Oh,
one.
that sucks for the Saints.
Admitted.
Weird, dropped. Ryan
Isn't that
Burns
stiff?
out for the Saints as well. I, obviously, like everybody, struggle with St Kilda because they stink. And also, sometimes they're good.
Well, very
Question
rarely at the
mark,
moment. Very
but at the
rarely.
moment, they're not very good. So, pour one out for your beloved Hawthorn, though, Leo. I think Saints still win this one. I think
yeah.
there's just a
I
little
know
bit
about
there.
that.
I think defensively, this is a week where it's a tipping point week for St Kilda, right? Like, this is essentially their season.
Yep.
If they don't win this
100%.
week,
I
right?
think
Like,
that's
they're
already done.
cooked if they don't win.
Yep.
So I think this is the kitchen sink game for St Kilda.
Yep.
I think they win by 18 because the Hawks will keep them honest. It's sort of, we've seen lots from the Hawks talk about a roller coaster. Last week was incredible, but at the same time, you've had some absolute rollover moments. So
Yep.
I think the Saints eke this one out, win by 18.
I actually agree with you, Jim. I think
you got to tip your beloved Hawks.
No.
Fake fan.
I think you're right. This Saints season is on the line, and I think they'll get up for it. Hawthorn, though, this is very, very winnable. Like, we need to not be give like the Gold Coast game or the Melbourne game here, where we just do not do anything, and we're just basically like, hey, do something.
Yeah.
We
something.
need,
Come on.
we need to be competitive here because this
Yep.
game is so winnable for us.
Yep.
I like it. It is a weird situation as well. Sam Mitchell copped a lot before last week, and they actually responded.
They won.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does feel like this might be the letdown spot, though, for the Hawks. I don't know.
No,
Stats
I
boy?
don't agree,
You
lads.
you
I'm
don't
going
agree
the
at all?
Hawks by 5. It's the one rare one. I think this is the first time I've hit the Hawks all year.
Stats guy
Galaxy
just
brain.
wants all the teams around North to win so that they can't choke pick one.
No, I actually don't. I said this last time. I don't like finishing last. It's just sad. So I'd rather get a few wins on the board. But I do think the Hawks are going to win. Saints, they weren't amazing against North. Obviously, they're going to beat North, my team that we're just horrible. But what's it called? Oh my God, I can't talk. Max King couldn't kick one goal on Aiden Core. That's why I'm tipping the Hawks. I can't believe Max King didn't kick a goal. They're out of form, so many of their players, and dropping Philippou, I don't like that either. So I'm going to go Hawks by 5. Covered at the last 4 times in Utah, so they're pretty good down there in Launceston.
Watch Max King
he's going to kick
I've
said that.
You've spoken into
I
existence.
genuinely think Hawks will win.
Essendon GWS Saturday afternoon, the primetime spot now. This is awesome. It's at Marvel, 4:35. Over-under is 178.5. That's a high-scoring game.
Yes.
And the GWS Giants are favourites at Marvel in Melbourne against the Bomb Rays, who are in the 8. What is going on?
Well, you don't think that's not surprising, is it?
6-2 versus 5-2-1. Essendon,
slight
Essendon
favourites.
are home.
they
It's a
play there a
weird
lot, yeah.
situation. Essendon have looked really good. GWS have looked very scratchy. They did beat them by like 140 million points last year, though.
162 to 36. That was towards
And
the
I
end of the
tipped
season.
Essendon.
That was it. Oh, no, that was towards the end of the season where
It was the
GWS were on the up.
embarrassment. It was the embarrassment spot for Essendon.
Yeah,
as
Essendon
well,
were like, oh crap, we're not good anymore.
This is a tricky one. I love this big question though. Which team does Kevin Sheedy love more?
I chucked that in there
gotta be
because
Essendon.
he says his kid is GWS because he was was it first coach? Am I going crazy?
Yeah,
First coach.
You
He
are
brought
going
him
crazy,
up.
but
I'm
that's
going
another
crazy.
issue.
That's true. But he was the first coach. He brought him up through the ranks, and he said he loves GWS. He's just always at GWS games. But then obviously Essendon, he was there for a long time, an absolute legend.
He's an
of
Essendon legend. He'd love Essendon.
Yeah, I reckon he'll be a little bit torn in this game. Though. He loves
All he
GWS.
does is like just tinker with Essendon behind the scenes. Like
he always
clearly
bags him and stuff. Yeah,
Clearly loves the Bombers more.
probably. Yeah.
Panboy says going under. Yeah, Bombers 43 points in total. Giants will pump the Bombers. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Bomb Rays actually win this one.
You think they're going to win?
I think
Ooh.
Essendon can win this. I think there is like a very, very happy familiarity at Marvel for the Bombers. And I think the speed with which they can attack GWS, we saw it when GWS played at Marvel against Carlton. They got Orange Tsunami themselves after turning on the Orange Tsunami earlier. It was weird. Sucked in. I think the Bombers can do that. They're the sort of team that can. So,
Yep.
Bombers by 8, I'm going to say.
Ooh.
Yeah. What is it? Essendon won the last 4 at Marvel. Is that right, Statsboy?
Well, I forgot what I wrote down there. Yes, they have. Yeah, they've been really good at Marvel. Not in the matchup, but they've just been really good at Marvel. But GWS have won 5 of the last 6 meetings. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sheedy loves Hurd. Yeah.
Yeah, his favourite son. Yeah, that's true. That's
he
true.
loves Hurdy more than anything else.
He does.
How's he feel about Matthew Lloyd? That's the question. All right, who are you taking there, Leo?
I'm taking Giants by 3. I think this will be an awesome game. I actually disagree with Panboy. I think it'll be high scoring.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think
At Marvel,
I think both teams will push close to 100 points.
Ooh.
The tough one is we've still got Tom Green in this team.
Wait.
He's on the extended bench,
Extended.
Oh, they've
bench.
just done that for mind games. Sure,
So
he's
that
not
it is
playing.
brutal.
might be a late out. It could be sub.
That's brutal.
Question
Brutal for
mark.
SuperCoach as well.
Caniglio comes back in. Connor Stone, Nick Haynes. And on the other side,
Caniglio's
Nick
a
Hine.
huge in.
Here we go, Nick Hind. No more plumbing jobs this week.
Wait, is he on the
Bombers,
field?
Bombers
or
going to
is he-
lose. Nick Hine's going to cost them. No, he's on the extended bench as well
Okay.
there. So, Callan Ward plays his 300th game in this one. That is awesome. I
Yep.
love a massive 300-game milestone.
he's a
Callan
legend.
Ward, take the money. It makes sense. Take the money, son. He took the money and away he went, and you love to see it. Great stuff there. And Statsboy, did we get your pick for this game?
Oh, I already sort of mentioned how good GWS are. I think they're going to win by 15. I think this will be really close, as Leo mentioned, but then GWS too good in the end. Darcy Jones will have another awesome game like he did in
Well, he's
Canberra.
on the extended bench, so hopefully
He'll play because he's impacting that team. He had 9 score involvements or something in that game. I reckon he's going to have a blinder.
Nice one. Now, I love footy as much as, if not more, than most people. However, on Saturday night at the MCG, if you want to take your mum out
2
for
games,
dinner,
yeah. Listen.
you could probably do it on Saturday night. I'm just saying.
Yep.
This
I
is the no, we don't have to watch footy tonight. To
I
the
will
miso.
be.
We're just like, let's go out for dinner. We'll get a babysitter. It'll be fine. Because the Richmond Tigers play the Western Bulldogs at the MCG at 7:30. The Bulldogs are 19.5-point favourites. This game screams blah.
Yep.
Why is that?
Because
the Dogs
they
suck at the G.
And Richmond just
And
suck
Richmond
overall.
are just horrible.
Yep.
So this is a tough one. The over-under is, I'm just curious as to whether or not the Dogs could get over 100 points by themselves to get this over, because I think this
I think
is
they
a
can, yeah.
lock for an under here. 167.5
Oh.
between these two teams.
Actually, you might be
Yeesh.
onto something there.
Yeesh. The Dogs Give us some stats boy.
All right, why not? Yeah, Dogs, as you mentioned, really poor record at the G. 1-4 in their last 5 there. So they don't play there very often, so I don't think that helps. Sort of like North, literally have 1 or 2 games there a season. But the Tigers have lost 8 of their last 9. As you mentioned, they've been horrible, decimated with injuries, and they're 18th and 15th in offense and defense. I had to read it a couple of times. I thought the Hawks or North might be the worst offense, but yeah, Richmond are the worst offense at the moment.
Checks out.
Yeah, not good. I was trying to find something positive for Richmond, but nah.
You
so
tried,
many injuries.
and you failed.
No good.
In comes Noah Bolter, Dion Prestia. There you go.
Okay, that's handy at least, yeah.
The Nugget comes back in. That's good. Jack Graham, outgo Dylan Grimes, managed. Cam the McIntosh, dropped. And Sam Naismith dropped. That's a tough one for my SuperCoach. I better go change some stuff. For the Dogs, we've got Riley West back, Luke Cleary, Alex Keith, and the debutant, isn't it? Freya.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Out goes Buku Kamas.
Buku getting... that is a
So
joke.
soft. He makes mistakes, but he shows
but
a lot of signs.
I am angry about that one. He is a weapon. That is an absolute joke.
Libba goes out because of 400 knocks to the head and a kick to the head.
Yes.
Oscar Baker, Ballarat's favourite son, not from Ballarat. And Charlie Clark, also gone. This game is going to be rough. The big question obviously here is who gets bevoed?
That's a segment in itself at the moment.
It is a weird one though this week, right?
I think Buku got better. I think he's had a good season. That's a bit stiff, yeah.
It could be like in terms of who actually gets bevoed.
Maybe who the sub is.
Yeah, it's like Sam Darcy. Like
McRae's on the extended bench.
McRae's on the extended
McRae's
bench. He
the
could
sub
easily get
again.
bevoed. That is brutal.
Surely it's Cleary or Gallagher.
You'd think so.
Or O'Donnell.
And you could be wrong.
I will be wrong.
Any other stats there, stats boy? Nothing?
Nah, I think that's it. I think
Right.
get into some tips maybe.
Dogs by 23.
Ooh.
Leo?
Yeah.
Dogs by 7. This will be scrappy and close.
I'm going to go Dogs by 30. They've had a couple of bad weeks, and then every time they do that, they bounce back. So we'll find out.
That's right. Powerboy says the entire Dogs team is going to get bevoed
Every
week. And
Well done, Pamboy.
does point out also that the Tigers' Dogs sounded okay before the season, and now that it's here, you're like, this is not great.
True.
Brutal. Then we go up to the NT.
Yes.
I'll see you in the NT, stats guy. Gold Coast minus 43.5. That's a big line, especially when it comes
Seems
to
too
playing
big.
at TIO, right? Which is the one in Darwin. And North, look,
We used to play there, actually. We used
Exactly.
to have... No, it was a long time ago, but yeah.
7:30 on Saturday. The over-under is 169.5. Can North show up for a game? I feel like if there's like anything...
Jim,
Like
don't-
any random game that they beat a half decent side in, it'll be somewhere like the Northern Territory when it's like a random game in Darwin. The big problem is Gold Coast are pretty good there, right? So
Yes, they're awesome.
Take it
there.
away, Stats
A
boy.
bit of a stat for you. 4-0 in their last 4 games there. They've just last 3 seasons they haven't lost at TIO Stadium. They should play more home games there. I don't get why they don't because they're so much better there than I always forget that People's First Stadium, whatever it's called. So they're really good there. And then but the Roos did smash them 132-97 at the end of last year when that was the infamous game to get Harley Reid and we did the opposite of
What happened?
Screwed the pooch.
Screwed the pooch, yeah.
you didn't. Did you not get Harley Reid?
No, but we
Oh
got
no, it's okay because you don't need him, right? That's
we
what
got
you think?
McKercher and Dersma. I'm happy.
I like that. All right, keep moving.
Yep.
Is there anything else?
Dimmer versus Clarko. Who's doing a better job?
That's
That
the
was
big question.
Yeah.
Who is doing a better job, Clarko
Dimmer.
or Dimmer?
Definitely Dimmer. They're looking okay. But if they don't make finals, they should make finals, the Suns.
Should they?
With that list, I think they should.
If North had the choice at the start of this year, Dimmer or Clarko,
I think we'd still pick Clarko.
really?
It's a bit of hindsight. Like, I don't know. I think you would.
You
Dimmer,
mean Alistair Clark?
I just don't like Dimmer, so maybe that's why.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I don't know. He wouldn't have gone to North anyway. He's like, I just want to be warm.
He wanted to be warm and get a big paycheck up.
Gold Coast by 33. Leo.
Suns 49.
Suns by 40. Pretty simple.
that
I'll be
is-
watching it and not many other people will be.
Even I couldn't galaxy brain myself into picking North this week.
No, it's good. Just don't tip us. I
Thought
can't believe
about
you
it.
tipped us last week. You as well. What are you doing?
Wait, what did I do?
You tipped North as well last week. You two, what are you doing?
I've got memory loss.
Galaxy brain again, question mark. Collingwood take on West Coast.
Oh, no.
It's at the G, Jim. What are you doing?
I believe it's
Oh, sorry, Marvel.
Marvel.
Marvel. I thought, yeah, don't worry.
Which is why
Meant
the
to say
Galaxy
Marvel.
brain could come into play.
Oh, here we go.
Because Collingwood, how are they at Marvel?
Not great.
Not that great.
Well, they've failed to cover the line in 8 of their last 10 at Marvel, which is
That
surprising.
is not great. This is 1 p.m. on Sunday. I do like it's like, oh, well, we try to cram all these games in for Mother's Day and then have one at 1 p.m. It's like,
When most people are at
that's
lunch. Yeah,
What
yeah.
are we doing here? Come on. 39.5 point favourites in the Magpies. That's obviously substantially low. against the Eagles. The Eagles have shown a lot because, I don't know, they've been pretty good. They're 2-6. The tricky part is the over-under, 171.5. The Pies, despite their struggles at Marvel, you think that they could put up a pretty half-decent score.
Surely.
Yep.
And the Eagles play a happy, sort of wide
Attacking.
open sort of kind of thing. The big problem there, we didn't do the ins and outs for the Suns North because there's a lot of ins and outs for the Suns. But I'll get to that in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Pies. In comes Reef McInnes, Edward Allen, Finley McRae, Jack Biter, Joe Richards, Charlie Dean. Charlie Dean's a cheapie in the old SuperCoach.
He is. Jack Bytel is in. That's his. I used to play with him. He was at Saints.
No, not debut.
It was debut for Collingwood. So I hope he makes the team. He's a good player. He was at the Saints, and I think he was stiff to be delisted by the Saints. Yeah.
Myercheck and McCreary are out, and so is Lockie Schultz, obviously through suspension. For the Eagles, Gaff comes in, but out goes Elliott.
Oh, that's a
Jake Waterman goes out
as well. They're cooked.
Noah Long
I'm going 50
out as well.
now.
And some other ins. I think, actually, now that Jake Waterman's out, I'm just
100
I'm out of the water.
Surely.
That is Jay Brutal. 46-point win for the Pies, says Fanboy. Yeah, it's weird. I don't like this at all.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Just
that makes me sad that Waterman's out because
the J train.
The Coleman dream is dying if he's out. That's sad.
Anyway, stats boy.
Yeah. Which game are we up to? We're up to this one. West Coast have lost 22 of their last 23 away games, so you can't trust them away from the Optus Stadium. I already said Collingwood aren't too good at Marvel, but with these outs, I got to go Collingwood. I'm going Collingwood by 50. I reckon they're going to smash it.
Yep, I've got Collingwood by 45.
I had Pies by 32, but then I just saw Waterman was out and bumped it up.
Yo, which two of their best players this season.
Yo. Yeah, it is a rough one. So I think pouring out for the West Coast Eagles. Should we rank all 50 of Nick Dacos's games against the top 7 of Harley Reid?
Yeah.
Well, the big question for me is, how's Harley Reid's fitness? Because, I don't know, he might be cooked, mate.
Well, Kane Collins is bagging him, saying he shouldn't be cramped in his 7th game. As heard all his training standards, but I don't know his training standards, as you talked about yesterday. Come on, Kane. What are you doing?
That's the jokes.
What are you doing?
Good job.
What are you doing?
I don't know your training standards, but your training standards suck.
Yeah, that was weird.
And you're an idiot. Oh, there you go. All right. That's basically what he was saying.
Kane, yeah, I don't
That's
know what he was
weird.
doing.
It's like, this kid is horrible. He doesn't train right. It's like, do you know how he trains? No. Well, then you're an idiot. What are you doing, you idiot?
Exactly.
Get some normal eyes on you, you moron. Anyway, Adelaide, Brisbane at 4 p.m. on Sunday. This is a strange one as well. 6.5-point line for the Adelaide Crows.
I don't know.
The Lions are not going well. We understand this, but they did get a win last week in the Q Clash. They're 3-5. Adelaide get the win in the showdown. They are 3-5. So good luck trying to figure this out. Are Adelaide awesome at home? Pretty good. Are the Lions okay at Adelaide Oval? Stats boy, status up.
I actually need to have a look at that. Brisbane won 4 of their last 5 matches as underdog, and they actually won comfortably their last 2 matches at the Adelaide Oval. So yes, they are pretty good.
Not bad.
But they've got 4 ACL injuries now, 2 on the weekend. Kitty Coleman, obviously, earlier in the season. There was another one in there. They're just decimated.
Is that true?
Yeah. They've had.
I thought they lost to Adelaide there last year.
Well, I'll have to double check that. No, actually no. Last 2 matches at Adelaide Oval. That includes Gather Round probably as well.
But Gather Round they played at Norwood.
Yeah, I'll double check that one. But yeah.
Good job.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
just
Panboy's got it right. I think Adelaide's back, and that's kind of thing. The big question is, are you saying Adelaide's back? Yeah, I guess they're back. That showdown game was like, look, we always know that they rise up for the showdown, but what's that? 3 straight wins in showdown now?
Yep.
And they looked awesome. Like
they got lucky that Port
times.
missed a lot of shots, but they did look really good. Saligo and Rankin looked unstoppable.
Yeah, there's not quite inexorable nature about Adelaide, but they're getting better. And like Brisbane were pretty good at home at the Gabba last week against Gold Coast. I think Adelaide are just a little bit better. I'm going the Crows by 16. Leo.
Crows by 9. Just, tight tussle this game, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go Adelaide by 7. I can't believe we're all tipping Adelaide. Just a lot of injuries. There's big names out for the Lions.
Saligo for the Brownlows, says Bamboy. Sam Berry goes in. So does Chris Burgess and Lockie Murphy. In for the Lions. Callum Archie, Jared Lyons. Jackson Pryor, Darcy Fort.
How's that name?
Shadow Brain. AKA
Shadow Brain?
the greatest new name in the AFL.
Is that a cartoon character?
My Shadow Brain is like the worst dude I know as well, BT Dubs. My Shadow Brain is like
It's a great name.
do the worst things.
I
And,
thought Jim read it out wrong, but that is an awesome name.
Darragh Joyce. Out goes obviously Darcy Gardner, Link McCarthy, and Noah Answorth. That is
Big outs, yeah.
The Link McCarthy out particularly sort of fills the
Even
gaps in
Gardner,
that forward line. He's fantastic, but I don't know. I just don't trust this Lions team to fire up because they've just not looked world beating. And if you're going on the road to play in Adelaide against an Adelaide team that loves it at Adelaide Oval, it's tough. So
Agreed.
let's go the Crows. All right. Should we do some big calls for the weekend ahead?
Why not?
Big calls. Porter falling apart. Ken Hinkley starts feeling that collar get a little tight there. That is such a tough ask from a showdown loss to go down to the Cattery, as I said, right? Like, I feel like that is an absolute, you're on a hiding to nothing unless you bounce back and just come from the clouds and beat Geelong.
Nah, that's not going to happen.
I just don't think that's going to happen. So I think they're going to start going, hang on, we should be doing better. It's like, Ken Hinkley's like, do you know how many dudes we've got injured?
Yeah.
And Jeremy Finlayson's out there dropping homophobic slurs. It's not helping
Yeah,
things.
doesn't
What are you
help
doing?
them, yeah.
And so I think this is the week where it sort of starts getting a lot louder. We've had a lot of, grumblings about Bevo.
Yeah.
That sort of hit a point this week after they lost to the
will be,
Hawks.
yeah.
Ken might be the next one.
Yep.
Big call, stats boy.
Jezza, he's going to kick 6 goals against Port Adelaide. Obviously, you just mentioned so many injuries. He was horrible last week, kicking 0 goals, kicking some out in the full off the side of his boot. I think he'd be training at the farm. I saw his YouTube video. He was training with the boys at the farm. He took some of the Geelong players and they were kicking over the creeks and torps and they were beautiful torps. So I think, he's going to kick 6 goals. He'll bounce back and absolutely smash Port.
Pam boys is big call. Hinkley and Port miss finals and get sacked in round 21. That's essentially where I'm basically leaning, right? So I think if they do get to a point where they're going to miss finals, when you have this much expectation going into the year, there is going to be a point where you just go, where are we going?
We're going to have a lot of coaches get sacked this year.
Maybe. Leo, big call.
Sam Durham will have 30-plus disposals.
Ooh, nice.
Career highs 25.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay.
So I reckon this will be a nice little breakout game. I really rate Sam Durham.
He's been
playing
awesome.
fantastic.
He's tough inside, good on the outside, and I think Tom Green being a bit in doubt, Durham's going to have a real say in this game in the coalface.
Yeah, I like it.
Tom Green being on the extended bench is such just a
That's so annoying. The SuperCoach.
Oh, it's a test. We tested him. He's on the extended bench anyway. So come on, man. All right, keep an eye on. What are we keeping an eye on this weekend of footy? The Bombers mids versus GWS. This is fascinating to me because, look, GWS can punish you, obviously, on the rebound. They are fantastic when it comes to defensive rebound.
Definitely.
Especially through that midfield. You've got the likes of Josh Kelly. Now you got Caniglio back. Maybe Tom Green. Who knows? The way that the Bombers play, all I want to see is just a little bit of defensive accountability. If I see that, then the Bombers should be playing finals football and could be if they'll win this game if they actually show a little bit. That is my point. And I think they're on. It could be fascinating. I love it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just want to set up Bombers fans for complete disappointment. But
It's always happened. Second half of the year.
The Cats and their old scoreboard. Keep an eye on it. All those lunatics down there at Cardinia Park just throwing stuff at it. Replace that anyway, man. Check this out. Just whacking stuff.
He's dropped the magic.
Just whacking stuff up there. It's going to be awesome. The other two, if the Dogs can play at the G or not.
Yeah, well, as I said, they haven't got a very good record.
If they can just play.
Yeah, they can play.
They can actually do it.
They actually don't look like traffic cones.
And Collingwood at Marvel is the other one to keep an eye on, right? Like if Collingwood actually look really, really good and demolish a rate West Coast, that's why you can read into that only a little bit, but you can read enough into it. They feel much better. Last week's win was awesome. Obviously, no fluke. They're the reigning premiers. But this is the sort of game where you go, we're going to stamp a little bit of authority and just delete a team. So that's where I'm at.
I think you're right.
Any other vibes for what you're keeping an eye on this weekend?
No, I think that's pretty much North, just to see if North can put up a fight, but that's because I'll be the only one watching that game.
Sure. Big ratings. Big
Yeah,
ratings.
big.
All right, SuperCoach tips, vibes, Super Tubes, SuperCoach tips, vibes,
Super
whatever.
dudes, super everything.
I was trying to say all the words at once and they just collapsed into each other. Sweet, Rosie, Sicily, obviously those are tough SuperCoach
Big
outs.
SuperCoach names I chucked in there.
Sweet specifically got brought in by roughly 1 million teams last week. See Rosie, he might be on a bunch of teams. He's certainly on mine. And Sicily he's been a bit of a roller coaster ride in SuperCoach this year.
I think still a lot of people have him. Yeah.
Still a big name. So Clary's obviously the other one, the underpriced mid super duper star sometimes. Will he have a big one tonight? We're about to find out.
Yep.
What are we doing for captains?
I've still gone Gorn as my vice.
VC on Gorn tonight.
He's always the safe option. He's got like 3 scores over 150, so you got to back him.
Since I don't have Gorn, I'm going to VC Walsh.
Yeah.
I'm going to captain Bontempelli against Richmond.
Ooh, yeah,
That's not a
Bond.
bad idea.
Anyone against Richmond is good.
Yep.
Sarong against the Swans tomorrow night is an interesting one just because Sarong has been shredding.
Yep.
But I'm going to go Dacos at the old Marvel against West Coast just because West
Yes.
Coast, I think he could put up a pretty big one there.
Good call.
So that's my backup. Darcy Jones is the big cheapie in for everybody this week as well. Lockie Sullivan is the other big question mark for the Pies, which means we can actually go back to that Pies game and have a look at the ins and outs, which I believe we did skip over, wasn't it?
It was the North game.
No, the North game. Gold
Yes.
Coast. They are bringing in Bodie Ulan.
Yeah, he's good.
Alex Sexton. Do you reckon he'll actually get on the ground this week?
Yeah,
He
I
keeps
know.
I think
in and
he's
out.
listed in the 18, no?
I believe he is.
He is, yeah, he's
Let's
back.
go.
I've held him in SuperCoach.
Have you actually?
Yes.
Oh my
Lloyd
God.
Johnson, Alex Davies, Joel Jeffrey, Bailey Humphrey. Interesting.
Don't mind him.
Obviously, Will Powell out, Brandon Fiorini, David Swallow, Rory Atkins. Interesting. Ethan Reid and Will Graham. Will Graham, you're breaking my heart. Come on, Dimmer.
Yeah.
For your beloved Rouge Stats boy, Will Phillips, Lazaro's dog, and Hugh Greenwood, my good friend. Jai Simpkin,
Yes.
Toby Pink, and Zane Dersma.
Dersma getting dropped. Oh,
Tough
it's
ones.
stiff when we don't put it in the forward line for him, but anyway.
All right, but there you go. So, any other vibes on SuperCoach this week? Quickly, gentlemen.
No, I don't think you need a boost this week. I'll say that because people have been boosting the last.
Maybe
3 weeks.
you don't need a boost.
I think
this
most
week.
people shouldn't. That's all I'm saying.
At your height, you definitely need a boost. Just saying.
Simple and effective.
Yeah, I'll fight you later.
Short jokes. It's all good. I love this though. The boost question, like I'm able to double upgrade with a boost this week. And I
Go for
desperately
it.
need to do
Yep.
it. So that's where I'm at.
Yep.
So
extra boost.
I think I threw this one out maybe on yesterday's AFL Today. The simple idea of whether or not you go Nick Martin to help bolster your defense or Dylan Moore up front to help the forward thing. Get Clary in the middle at the very cheapo spot. That's basically the midfield upgraded for me. I don't know. What do you reckon, Moore or Martin?
Martin.
Gets more of the ball.
Yeah, I feel like that's. I just like the forward situation this year in SuperCoach is an absolute
Yeah.
mess. So
Yeah, true.
anyway, you can hear more SuperCoach talk on tonight's. Oh, there you go, Nick Martin over Moore. Thank you. That's already
We'll
what
be
I
talking
locked
about
in,
that.
so
Yeah.
I still have a bit of a chance to reverse it if need be. Anyway, but we'll be talking all things SuperCoach on the live stream tonight at the Carlton Melbourne game. That'll be pretty fun. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream. It has been fun. This has been AFL Today for today. We'll be back on Sunday evening. Well, we'll be actually back in about 20 minutes with the live stream of the Carlton Melbourne game, and then we'll have our Sunday night wrap pretty early on this week because it's only a 4 o'clock game. How good is that?
Yeah.
It's really good is
Nice.
the answer. So thank you to Leo for jumping on.
Thanks, Jim, and thanks to our Pam boy.
Panboy's been all over it.
Yeah, he's been great.
Loving that. And the Stats Boy, thank you.
Thank you.
Join Stats Guy, I, and Marcus from the Cricket Today podcast
Yes.
and the Football Today podcast for the live stream. Should be very fun. Remember to smash a like across all the socials to see us doing lots of different stuff. AFL Today, Cricket Today podcast, Football Today podcast, NBA Australia, NFL Australia, hold all tickets. Check them all out. Facey, IG, X, Threads, TikTok, and of course YouTube, where you can see all this going down. It's always very fun. Subscribe, star, and like all the shows across all your podcast apps as well. Get around them. Like, I don't know, Gavin Wanganeen around a quick little snag in a forward pocket, whether it be for the Bombers in 93 or the Power in 2003. Just remember, he was pretty good. Got a stand named after him.
Yeah, he was a Jet. Yeah.
Did he win a Norm Smith in 93 as well? No. He won a Brownlow.
Brownlow.
didn't
He won a Brownlow, yeah.
he? Not bad. Gavin Wanganeen. Good play. All right, that's it. We'll catch you in about 20 minutes for the live stream. It's pretty good timing. This has been AFL Today. Remember, look after yourselves. Have a great weekend of footy because footy is back.